One thing I like to do in my interviews is use the STAR methodology. What is STAR methodology? STAR. S stands for situation. T stands for task. A stands for action. And R stands for result. So every answer that you give. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Talks with Jinesh. In today's episode, we are going to talk about job interviews and what are the common things that you should avoid, and mainly how to crack job interviews. These are common mistakes that most people make. Even I have made when I have done so many interviews. I have taken interviews, whereas I've hired people, been the manager at We Planet Earth for quite a while now. So I have taken interviews and have given interviews as well. So I speak from experience. I know what employers are looking for. I know what are the key characteristics that when you hire someone, you want them to have. So I come from a good position to be talking about this basically. So if you've given a few interviews already in your home country or anywhere in the world basically, you might have encountered this situation where you have been invited for the interview, you've done your face-to-face interview, but you've not moved on to the second stage. You are not being shortlisted for the second stage of the interview, and then you're wondering, you've answered all the questions correctly, so how could you improve? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you about the things that you need to do in order to be shortlisted for your first, second, and third stage, and then eventually get hired for the job. First thing, you need to keep in mind that when you are doing the interview, you need to be yourself. So there is no need to pretend like someone you're not. There is no need to make up examples when most times for normal jobs you're going to be asked questions about, tell me about a situation where you had to do this, or where you had to deal with stress, or how did you manage this. And that time most people, what they do, even I have been guilty of this, I've done this too, we often tend to make up a situation in our mind and then present that. It's fine, but the problem with this approach is it doesn't always seem correct, and it comes off as a fake, so it's very easy to tell as well. What you want to do here is think of a situation, which has happened to you in real life, and then present that in a very concise manner. So you don't want to give 10 different sentences. You want to make it short, but to the point. You want to make it precisely to the point. Okay, so keep that in mind. The other thing that you want to do is be confident. Now, most people, they misunderstand confidence for overconfidence. Now, you don't want to show the employer that, yeah, you're fit for this job and you were good in coding and, programming skills, and so you have to get this job. Well, no, it's not like that. Even though you are qualified, most companies, they want people who get along in the culture. Let's be frank. You're not the only person that, knows coding and stuff. There are thousands of people ahead of you and, around you that also know coding. So you need to be able to adjust in the work culture, in the work environment. So you want to show the employer that you are very friendly, easygoing, and you're very easy to work with. Because most cases what happens, you're either going to be working in a team or you're going to be doing some group projects and stuff like that. Very rarely would you be given an individual project. Very rarely. I don't think I've ever been given. So keep that in mind. Don't show overconfidence, or also do not stammer too much. Show confidence, speak fluently, speak with confidence. Yeah, you're the guy. Once you get to the interview, what do you do then? So now you've entered the preparing phase. So first of all, good job, you've got the interview, you've done the hard part, right? You've got your foot in the door. Now all you need to do is keep your foot there. So you go into the preparation phase. Now for preparation, what you want to do is go through questions, some mock questions for the interview. Go through them, prepare for them, and also, if you can, research about the interviewer. Now most cases you may not know who is going to be interviewing you, but given the chance that you do know who is going to be doing your interview, you want to find out information about that person and just try to find out what kind of a mindset he or she has. How you do so, you don't want to go and stalk his or her LinkedIn profile or social profiles, but go to LinkedIn, look up the person, find the person, and see what companies the person has worked for. What are the person's skills? Whether he's a coder, whether he's a public speaker, what he generally likes to do, right? Look for his hobbies. Look what companies and stuff he's worked for before. And what this is going to do is give you an idea about the questions that person can ask you. And that way you can sort of understand the person's mentality, right? And therefore you can prepare accordingly. Most cases, what happens, like I'll give you my example. I just got into Verifin. If you don't know that, today I just finished my third day. So around 6 a.m. or so I left home. And over here at Verifin, the good thing about Verifin is that it is not like the regular 9 to 5 where you have to go in at 9 o'clock and 5 o'clock you leave, and it's not like that. That's the good thing about Verifin. The building is open 24/7. You can go in whenever you want, and they got free lunch. So what's better than that, eh? They got 24/7 snacks available, and there's lots of benefits about going in the building and working. There's so much of space, environment is so nice, people are very, very friendly. But anyways, irrelevant, sorry. Talking about interviews, at Verifin, how it was, I was asked a basic question. My approach was, if you've seen my video already about how I found my work time, you probably know, but if you don't know, my approach was simple. I presented who I was, told them everything about me, gave natural responses. There's no need to pretend someone you're not, accent very normal. These are common things that you want to do. Prepare beforehand, before the interview. The other point you want to keep in mind is, when you go for the interview, always dress up in a formal attire. Now, don't mistake formal attire for business casual or, professional casual. Forget casual, it's out of the picture. For business casual, what I usually wear is a nice t-shirt and a suit over it and some jeans. That is business casual. But you don't want to dress up like that. For an interview, you want to go professionally dressed. And this is not for one of the retail stores or small jobs. This is for an actual your field related job. You want to go and dressed up professionally with your ties, with your shirts, your suit, your pant, and everything. You want to go in that way. And another thing, this is probably common sense, but just going to put it out there anyway. You want to go 15 minutes before your scheduled time. The last thing you want to do is arrive 1 minute late. For your interview, never ever you want to arrive late. So leave an hour before, If you going to the work location takes you 30 minutes, what you want to do is leave an hour before. Arrive at least, the minimum is 15 minutes for your interview. So you can go in there, settle down. This sudden breathing you do when you're walking, that stops. You go into easy breathing. So you want to basically arrive there early, settle down, talk to people. When you arrive there, the front desk, receptionist, people passing by, talk to them. Maybe other candidates that are there, speak to them. You want to be friendly with everyone. You never know who out there, can speak to the manager, who out there is related to the hiring coordinator, which person is friends with them. Anyone could be, right? You don't know. So if you speak to someone and then they like you, maybe they can put in a good word for you, right? You don't want to sit alone by yourself. You want to talk to everyone, be really outgoing, and just be super friendly, basically. Now, when you've actually gone in and you're sitting in person for the interview, remember, you're going to have to sell yourself, right? Your resume has done 50% of the job, and the remaining 50% you are going to have to do. Actually, your resume has done 90% of the job. You've got your foot in the door. Right now, the remaining 10% you've got to do. You're going to have to sell yourself. You're going to have to talk good about yourself. This is not the time to be humble and modest. It's good to be, but not at this time. All of your qualifications, whatever you are good at, some national achievements, international achievements you've done, you've spoken in this conference, put it out there. Let the interviewer know. Now, don't just don't just memorize a script and go rambling off that. You don't want to do that. That'll be a little bit weird. But in some way, you must think of something and, go put it all out there. How you can do this, I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now. You want to do mock interviews beforehand. So sit down with your father, mother, friend, uncle, auntie, anyone, and give them a list of questions and do a mock interview. 1 hour, sit down. Each interview, make sure it is scheduled for 1 hour, because over here, generally interviews take place for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. But if you already prepared for 1 hour, then 30 minutes, 45 minutes should be a piece of cake, right? So do a lot of mock interviews. That is going to help you. And this way, you're going to be prepared as to how to answer. You're going to be fluent. All of your words that you would say in the interview, you've already prepared for that. So the speech delivery also will be very smooth. One major misconception about this is most people think that you need to have Canadian accent. You need to be very fluent in English. No, not at all. It's nothing like that. As long as you can portray your message, as long as you can convey your message nicely, portray yourself in a nice manner, it's all you need. Think about this. If you've already taken entry into Canada, then you don't need to worry about your English because you've already given your IELTS, right? So don't worry about your English at all. I wouldn't be really too concerned about it. I don't know if I said this before in other videos, but one thing I like to do in my interviews is use the STAR methodology. What is STAR methodology? STAR. S stands for situation. T stands for task. A stands for action. And R stands for result. So every answer that you give, situational based questions, every answer you give, you must align your answers with these points. You need to keep these 4 points in mind, and then you must deliver your answers. So S for situation. What was the situation? A cup of glass fell in the laboratory that you were working in. T. What was the task? You had to clean it up, right? That is what you would want to do. What was the action? You cleaned it up. How did you clean it up? That is all the action. And R stands for result. What was the result? What was the outcome of the situation? How did you clean it up? And was there anything that you were not expecting happened? Did everyone in the surrounding, how did they react to your approach? So you want to keep these 4 points in mind. STAR, STAR, and this is going to help you a lot. Keep this point in every interview. One thing that you absolutely do not want to do during your interview is talk bad or criticize about your previous employer or the previous company that you worked. You don't want to talk bad about them. You don't want to criticize them for any reason. Think about it this way. If you have worked in that company and then you've left that company and now you're looking for work somewhere else, and then you talk bad about them, the new employer is going to think of it the same way. Today they will hire you, tomorrow they will get rid of you, or you will leave work for whatever reason, and then you will go to a third employer, a new person, where you will look for work again, and you will talk bad about this company, right? So they will think about it like that, and as a result, that could lead to you not getting selected or not getting shortlisted. 2 more points left before we come to the end of the video. You want to ask questions at the end of the interview. In every interview, they are going to ask you, do you have any questions for me? So for this, you need to first research about the job. So all this should be done in the preparation phase, right? You must research for the job, what your duties are, responsibilities are. You must research about the company and stuff, and then prepare maybe 1 to 2 questions. That is it. Don't ask like 10 different questions. 1 to 2 questions. That's it. The question that I usually like to ask is, what is your favorite part about this job? And believe it or not, employers really like that question. And they will speak with passion, with great enthusiasm. They will speak about that. Or if they are not in this related, like software developers, for me, mostly the team leads of a company take my interview, right? When I'm applying for software development. If you're just going into retail, or maybe the CEO, some companies, some smaller companies, even the CEO will take your interview. So for them, you want to ask, when you were in my position, what was the favorite part of your job? Right? Then they're going to be happy and they will tell you the answer very happily. So now the last point, let's say that you get rejected. Worst case scenario, right? You have to keep this in mind and prepare, learn from your mistakes and prepare on for the future. So let's say that, you get an email saying, sorry, we couldn't move forward with you. We found better applicants. Don't take that to heart. What you should do upon receiving this email is ask them for feedback. What was it that was lacking in your application as to that led to you not being selected? And then add that point to your interview answers for the next time. Because if you're applying, you're obviously eligible, you're already qualified, right? But then at the interview, if you do not get selected, there must be something in your answers that you've said or not said as to why you've been not selected. By the way, you gotta press this button. Sometimes doesn't work, and then only the light goes white and you can cross the road there. Always ask for feedback, and employers will happily give you feedback as well. Like, for example, for I think one of the jobs that I did not get, I asked them, as to why I did not get, and they said that I think they were looking for people who have experience in C++ and C language. And at the time, I was, I think, only my first year and applied to all these high-level jobs. The feedback, they said that they were looking for someone with experience with C and C++. And at the time, I didn't have that much experience in that. So This way you can get feedback as well, and then with this feedback you can prepare on for the future interviews. Anyways guys, with that being said, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you enjoyed this vlog today. Stay tuned for future videos. Thanks for watching guys. It's been fun. I'll see you later.